Okay, Virgo. So I don't know what you're working on, but Spirit is showing me a couple different things. They are showing me people learning a choreographed dance. And they're talking about how once you learn a dance, the steps, the rigorous steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, once you have that completely down, you can kind of quote unquote throw it away and you can start infusing it with style and you can start putting a little extra razzle dazzle on it, but not until you have all of those steps all the way down. You know what I'm talking about? So that was one version of what they were showing me. The other was data points. If you are studying some subject, history, let's say, and you learn a bunch of data points. At first, they could seem disparate. At first, it could seem like, okay, I'm learning about the Revolutionary War over here, and the Civil War over here, and the this and that over here. And there comes a point when you learn enough data that you start being able to connect the dots between the data points. You start being able to read between the lines, and then information can synthesize, synergize, and turn into more of a wisdom perspective. I'm talking about the difference, the origins of the third house that become the ninth house. The data points of the third house become the knowledge and wisdom and perspective of the ninth house. You just had a new moon in Scorpio, which is your third house. And you're going to have a full moon later this month over in that ninth house. So, as it is filling with delight. What an interesting to say. Okay, well, I hope it's filling with delight. As it's filling with light and it becomes the full moon, something begins, something culminates. Which one is it for you? Are you just now getting excited about something, or have you been working on something for a long time that is now going to finally cook up and be finished and you're ready to debut it? Something is being lit up in the realm of higher knowledge, synthesizing all of this data that you've learned, or putting together all the steps of your routine, and now it is this thing that is ready to publish or broadcast. You tell me. Okay, Virgo, let's get into some cards, shall we? As always, we're going to get into the story of your month, and we will pull a persona card to look at the kind of protagonist that you are showing up as in the month of November. Ooh, thank you, Spirit, for being present for Virgo people, Virgo sun, Virgo moon, Virgo rising, and Virgo dominant people. Spirit, we want to know what's showing up for Virgo people in the month of November. What kind of themes, energies, events? What kind of issues do you want to highlight for them, Spirit? What is showing up for Virgo? And how would you advise Virgo to show up and meet that energy? We want to help Virgo Spirit always step into their highest good, a present and future filled with peace, pleasure, abundance, ease, fulfillment, joy. What does Virgo need to know for their highest good in the month of November? What is showing up, Spirit, and what is it showing to them? Help us to help Virgo have the best possible November. Okay, let's get in here. Okay. Virgo sun, Virgo moon, Virgo rising, Virgo dominant people, Spirit. What are the themes they are experiencing? Anything Virgo needs to know from their past as it pertains to the present and the unfolding future. Virgo. Huh. So what you're working on is definitely, a lot of you are writers, speakers, messengers of one kind or another. And it feels like a lot of you have been working on an idea or a modality or working your way up the proverbial ladder for a very long time, and you're sitting at the top. King of Swords. So there is definitely recognition in your life of you as a master of your craft, particularly of words, a master of words, wordsmith, knowledge smith. So there's that new moon in your third house developing into that ninth house. Big, big ideas, little data points that turn into big ideas, big wisdom, big perspective. I want to say the first thing is enjoy yourself. Please have more fun. I do see, look, we're going to talk about work. We're going to talk about things you need to do, blah, 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 blah. But I'm going to jump right to the guidance. 3 of Cups. Get together with people that you enjoy and share. Like share the wealth, share the joy, share the love, share some laughs, perhaps some libations if you're into that. That is really important for you in the month of November. And of course, it's Thanksgiving. Some of us will be celebrating Thanksgiving, so there is that. There's an opportunity, but this feels like Friendsgiving. That's what I really want to say. This doesn't, listen, no shade to family. Love my family. And some of us don't have that 3 of Cups relationship with family members. So I want to be very specific that I'm talking about people that you can really like let your hair down with and relax and let the belly hang over. Okay. 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 So let's talk about your expansion. You do not have to hurry. What if I told you you have made the choice, you're on the path? It would be a good time to make a couple of adjustments, but you don't need to do anything crazy. You're on path. Does that make you a little nuts? Some of you, you're doing what you need to do. Minor adjustments are necessary. Sitting in the recent past, 2 of Wands, sitting and looking at the crossroads. Do I want to keep working on this thing? Or do I want to start something completely new? And what I feel is you have not gained all of this knowledge in this one realm for no reason, even if it is irrelevant to something else that you want to do or seems to be. This knowledge will come into play in this other thing that you want to do, so just trust that. Even if you don't know what it is now, they're going to intersect. That's what I'm hearing, okay? So it won't be throwing away this other aspect of your life. If you start developing this other new thing, you're going to find that they kind of alchemize. Some of you may already know what I'm talking about because sitting in the present, 7 of Pentacles, taking a pause, stepping back, checking your progress. Spirit just really used the phrase progress report. Some of you are allowed to give your own self a progress report because I can trust your perspective, but some of you, Virgo, love you. Some of you fit the bill of that self-flagellating Virgo that never thinks they're doing it well enough, so they're being a little too hard on themselves. But I would say all of you, it would benefit you to take a step back and look at the way that you are doing things. It's fall, it's harvest season. We're about to head into winter. What would you like to, before we get all the way into the cold season, before we enter that still season, while we are in the season of malleability, transformation, change, it's even Scorpio season, right? So transformation, regeneration. What do we want to trim away now in order that we may focus better and also relax more? It's really kind of like refining. You don't need to do more and you don't need to go faster. I feel like that's the most important thing, is you're already in the process. Things are already working, even if you don't know it. And I know that can be frustrating for those of you who might be like sitting and thinking like, yeah, but I'm literally not doing anything. Don't underestimate the necessary period of, things swimming around in your unconscious mind. And if you do feel frozen, then make more time for purposeful reflection. If you feel like I'm sitting and doing nothing, then it would be great to sit and journal about how you're sitting and doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I don't feel that applies to most Virgos. I feel like most of you are busy working on something. But for those of whom are feeling like, what are you talking about? Crickets. Reflect so that you can get more present, and then you will know what the work is, because you may be escaping whatever the work is or whatever the idea is that you want to be working on. Okay. So make adjustments, but for most of you, things are going along quite nicely. Don't restrict yourself. If, again, this feeling of there being two ideas or two paths, I feel that for a lot of you they could intertwine more than you think, and for some of you who for whom they will never intertwine, they at least can run parallel. So if you are restricting yourself and telling yourself there's not enough, or you can only do this much, I feel like both things are possible. Don't restrict yourself. You are more creative and abundant than you sometimes give yourself credit for. You got the Four of Pentacles sitting in the position representing your hopes and fears. You want more, and yet you feel like you don't have enough. And the medicine for that, the antidote for that, is always to appreciate more of what you have. You know, Seven of Pentacles, to step back and to, you know, look at the clothing that you have, for example, and prune away what isn't working for you anymore. The better to enjoy what is left over and be like, okay, now everything that is in my closet is something that I really love, just as an example for that metaphor, okay? Appreciate what you have, embrace it, know that you do not need more, you do not need to go faster. If anything, it benefits you to take a little, to be more focused with your downtime. This is work time, this is downtime. And to really, when it's downtime, let's get down. The sun is sitting in the climate, the energy around and available to you. Fun, positivity, a sense of clarity, and knowing which way to go. And some of that comes from relaxing and trusting that, okay, some stuff is just going to come to me, and I actually need to kind of surrender to the fact that things happen in seasons and cycles, and I don't control time. It, you know, it makes us feel like we are doing something wrong or getting something wrong when we slip unconsciously into this mindset that, like, if it would be happening if I were blankety blank blank blank. Listen, you're co-creating. You're not the sole creator. It is not the whole world on your shoulders, and that's a good thing. But it also means that we have to surrender to the fact that there are multiple factors. So focus on being the youest you. Focus on being the best, quote unquote, best possible factor. And I don't mean like, oh my God, my most optimal self. I mean your youest you. Shedding as much as possible anything that doesn't feel like you anymore, and allowing yourself, sacrificing habits and aspects of yourself that don't feel like you anymore or that you don't want to have anymore, and letting something else come in and fill that space. That's what I'm hearing. So pruning in every sense is good for you. Decluttering the house, decluttering the closet, decluttering your soul, all very beneficial. Sitting in the future, the Hanged One, that's your surrender. That's your sacrifice. That's your let go and let God. That's your trust the process. That's your, okay, I have sown a lot of seeds and I keep going out and taking care of them. It's not my business to go up and try to yank them out of the ground and make them grow faster. It's my business to tend to them and keep the space clean and healthy and let things grow, right? Do that. Trust in the process. November might not be the month that you see all of these amazing new shoots shooting out of the ground, but you can trust that things are happening, and actually you should have a little fun. You've been working like an ant, so party like a grasshopper for a little bit, okay? Sitting in the key position, strength, your relationship with power. How you treat yourself is directly correlated to how you treat others. So be compassionate with yourself, be patient with yourself, and watch how you flourish, and notice how the same is true for others. I see you bringing a lot of strength, no pun intended, a lot of strength, a lot of positivity, a lot of warmth in the month of November. And when you do feel unsure, or when you do feel ornery, or when you do feel whatever wild, socially unacceptable emotion that you feel, remember that actually I accept all of myself, and that's what gives me all of my power. So anything that I find unacceptable about myself or something that I want to change, the less that I demonize it and the more that I try to understand it and give it compassion, the more it is able to transform and get on my side and become more, give me more of myself, more of my power, more of my creativity, more of my genius. So not trying to get rid of our dark side, not trying to be socially acceptable at the cost of our more interesting aspects. How's that sit on you, Virgo? Let me know. Comments, questions, stories. If you resonate with any of this, I would love to hear about it. If you ever want to get a personal reading, the way to do that is just south of this video. I appreciate you spending time with me, Virgo. I hope it's helpful. And if I don't see you in your mid-month reading, then I hope I will see you in December. Till then, bye, Virgo.